and welcome to Conquering Mount Scrapmore with Brenda. I'm Brenda, and we're here today with Free Pattern Friday. Yay, it's Free Pattern Friday. I'm always so excited about Free Pattern Friday. I don't know why. I'm retired now. I shouldn't be all that excited, but I am. So we're going to show you a block I like to call Orchid. Now, it's just one of those fun, playful little blocks. It's a little fiddly, just a little, but it makes use of those half square rectangles, and we do some fun flip and stitch, and it's really easy to come together. But before we get started, we always have to do a shout out. Terie at Terie Sews has been part of our Facebook group for a while, and she's always making such lovely comments to me in the comments under my YouTube videos, and I want to give her a shout out. She's a channel. She's going to be good. It's a good channel. So if you go like what you see over on her channel, because you'll find her YouTube link in the show notes, you tell her that Brenda from Conquering Mount Scrapmore sent you over there. Now, the other thing you're going to find in those show notes, of course, is our Facebook group, which is growing really rapidly, and we're having lots of fun there with fabric swaps and exchanging ideas and free patterns and all sorts of things. And we also are making use of the virtual sewing room. And the ladies that are sewing together in those rooms are actually becoming friends. And you get to sew with all sorts of people from all over. You never know who you're going to meet in there. And it's been a lot of fun. Now, the other thing you're going to find in there, the Zoom link for our next sew dates from now until the end of December. And if you don't, it's because my husband and I haven't actually sat down and decided yet. So hopefully those will be in those show notes there, and you can just mark it on your calendar and come join us. Now, if you haven't got a quilting project to do that date and you want to do some crocheting or knitting or cross stitch, whatever, come on down. We're open to that. It's a lot of fun. And when you're bringing a project to that date, don't necessarily bring something I've done. Bring whatever you're working on, whatever inspires you. I would love to see what you're working on. So come on in. We got a lot of sewing to do today. Okay, here we are at the sewing machine. And what we're going to do is we always do the hardest stuff first. And this block is not hard. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do my stitch and flips first, because you have to make them mirrored, right? So they have to mirror, and so I iron my line so I can follow it. Now I'm just going to touch the line I ironed in, just kiss it to the one side, and I'm going to take the other one right away and do that. There. Now, this is such a fun little block. Wait a minute. It's got, okay, go like that. There, that's better. And you don't cut anything on these until you make sure you have good coverage, right? Because this is the thing with those stitch and flip corners, is that they're perfect. They're a nice, fast way of doing something. And it helps you use up your 2.5-inch squares. And these are 2.5 by 4.5. So all the cutting instructions are going to be in the show notes. But, I get asked all the time, can you make more patterns that use up our jelly rolls and, that kind of thing, the pre-cuts that we would have made out of a jelly roll? Okay, let me just get my scissor. Okay. I'm just getting all 4 of those off, just so you see here where we're at. There. Now, these have to be mirrored image, right? So now when you're pressing them, you got to make sure you have good coverage before you do any cutting off the back. And I do. I have really good coverage. I don't see my seams around. Now, what some people do is they make little triangles or little pinwheels out of them right away, and we can definitely do that. I mean, that's not a problem. I'm going to make these are going to be my leaders and enders for this project. And now we just line them back up so that they mirror again. Okay, let's check this. Yeah, perfect. Nice. It's nice when all this stuff works out. And like I say, I'm just sewing from this, very like a 1/2 inch, or not 1/2 inch, 1/4 inch seam That's what I'm leaving on the, as I'm cutting these off, these bonus triangles off. Now I see you can, what you people can do is they sew them once and then they flip them and they sew the bonus right away. I don't do that because I want to make sure I don't have to pick it apart. And if you sew 2 lines on right away, you're picking it apart now. Now we're going to do these half square rectangles. Now, as you can see, I cut mine out of my the small ruler from the Tri-Rex. So now it's just a matter of lining up these edges to get, oops, I need the other foot to get that nice 1/4 square rectangle. I have given you, if you don't have that ruler, never fear, I have given you the cutting instructions for these. Now, when you're cutting these, they mirror as well. So 1 square you're going to cut one way and they'll mirror, and the other square you're going to cut this way and they'll mirror, right? So that's because you need them to mirror, right? And now this is a lot of fun when you've got a bunch of like scrappy craziness going on. Okay, and just get that out. And they're easy to line up with that Tri-Rex ruler. I know there's lots of rulers that do, it's a 2-in-1 ruler or 2-to-1 ruler. So they're easy to work with. I find this one particularly easy to work with. But in your cutting instructions, once you sew the half square rectangles together, you just cut them back down to 2.5 to 4.5. So like I say, I cut them oversized. They're going to have lots of little trimming to do, but you know, that's okay. If you have the Tri-Rex ruler, this will, you know, almost work out of a jelly roll, right? So, oh, I could have used my little triangle. Oh, well. Oh, well. It's not the first time. It probably won't be the last. Okay, so now we're just going to move this out of the way. And I'm pressing to the dark because I want that to be, you know, prominent. There we go. There. And I'm just lining them all up. Like I say, you would take this to an iron, you know, but it's for speed and ease. So that's where we're at right now. Easy enough. Now what we want to do is take our subunits and we want to sew these together. So what we're going to do is we're just going to line this up point to point and point to point. There we go. All the hardest parts are done now. Isn't that fun? It's just so nice when all the hard parts are done. Okay, here we go. Now when I'm putting this block together, since I took from here first, that's where I'm putting back first, just so I don't get them mixed up. And you can press open if you like. There we go. And we'll work our way around the block. There. I think with all the points, with the point here, like at this point here, I found it easier. This thing lays flatter when you press open, right? So, I mean, it's up to you how you want to do it, but that's what I found. You know, I'm not saying you must press open. I'm saying I found it this way. Okay. Now, when I was talking about mirroring, these two mirror each other, these two do not, right? Or these two are the same and this one is not. So there we go. Now I'm just going to run one of these through. There. Just because one needs all sorts of little bonus triangles. And if they finish at 1 1/4, that's fine. That's perfect. Okay, the last thing we've got to do now on this block, right, is we want to sew this little 4 patch together. And we want to make sure that that 4 patch gets sewn the way it has to go back together again. There we go. There we go, like that. And we're just going to finish off the 4 patch. So we're going to press to the blue, making the blue darker. There. Okay. There we go. Get that under. Yeah, for these cute little 4 patches, like I say, you could make this all sorts of colors or whatever. You know, whatever tickled your fancy. If you want to go all scrappy, you could. That would be fun too, right? So there. Because it's an asymmetrical block, I mean, it's going to be very, you know, there's all sorts of secondary designs that are going to come out from this. Now, I don't know how to do that on digital stuff. Okay, your orange touches your orange and your teal or purple or blue or whatever this is. They're pretty Ellison glass. It touches, you know, like you want them. You don't want it like this. Well, you could have it like that if you want, but I want it like this. Okay, so now we're going to just weave them together, or, you know, kind of put them, string them along so that they all match. And there we go. And just like this, I should iron that white one a bit better. I found this teal check in my scrap bags there, and I just, ooh, it's so pretty. Ooh, so lovely. There we go. Okay, let's get the last line up. There we go. There. Yeah, I do quilts like this too, where I lay them out and I make sure they're all interlocked. Good. There we go. That's gonna work perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay, here we go. Yeah, so yeah, I was just itching to use this pale teal and white check. It's like, oh my goodness, what a silly person. Okay, now let's make a quick pinwheel. It'll be finished and fun, right? Finished and fun. And I trim, when I do any kind of triangles, I try and trim them a little steeper than most people. Just cut them off this way. I'm a little bit more like that because I want to reduce as much bulk as I can. And I always line up these the same way too, because it just makes it faster. There we go. There we go. Lay that out like so. Okay. You want to nest that point the best you can. And sometimes you have to struggle with it a bit, but that's okay. Now, basically when I'm doing these pinwheels, I will cut them then to or add more fabric around them to make them a more convenient quilt size. Okay, so this is what we got. So far, so good. Now I'm going to press the white out because it's the path of least resistance. And I'm going to press this in. This goes in. This goes out. There we go. And there. And we'll just grab one more. Now, when I'm sewing these blocks together like this, I want to be able to see and match where I need to match up. And, you know, that's perfect for, there we go. There. Okay, now I want to match this point. There. And all I have to do is get one stitch over the sew line to be able to say I matched it. Okay. And open this up. And open that up. Okay. And now I'm just going to flip this so that it sews together. These little pinwheels I find as Orphan Blocks are just adorable. They're one of those ones when you see them in the Orphan boxes, Block box. It's like, oh, they were so cute. Yet they're everywhere. I've already got a collection of them. And I'm quite concerned that I'm going to have to do another Orphan Block challenge for next year, but that's okay. You know, that's okay. There. There was one lady there, I forget where her message was, but she wanted blocks that would use up a lot of beige, like large open spaces. This is a perfect one for that. And now, okay, we see how this all goes. And we clip this off. And now that's what we got, but we decide which way this is going to lie. And I think I'm going to press this all out this way. And hopefully it will lie flat. There. So let's get to our Tadam moment, because we are done. Just so that everybody remembers, you swirl your seam in the back, and this center now lies really flat. Let's see if you can see that. Okay, so let's get to our Tadam moment. Okay, this is our big Tadam moment. Here's a very cute asymmetrical block. Now, if any of you know how to do that drawing where you can see what this looks like when it's, you know, all in different layouts, because it's asymmetrical, it's going to create other patterns, right? So if you know how to do that, please post it in our Facebook group or send me an email and I'll post it for you if you're not part of a Facebook group. I do not know how to do that. So this is why I'm asking you guys how to do that. So, but this comes together pretty quickly. And I mean, it's not hard. It is not a hard block to do. It just there's a bunch of little fiddly stuff, you know, you got to play with. But after that, it comes together like a 9-patch. So I do hope you give this one a try. This was a lot of fun to put out for you guys. I hope you have an absolutely carefree and wonderful week ahead, and that you get all sorts of wonderful things done in your sewing room. Okay, you take care until we meet again. Bye! My husband and I would love to thank you for watching our videos and being part of our Facebook group and coming to our Zoom meetings. It's been so much fun on this little adventure that we've been on YouTube. I just want to we are doing Zoom sew dates still coming up and those dates are going to be listed in the show notes of this video. for the next year. We're making that commitment to you, and we're having a lot of fun with those Zoom sew dates. So please, feel free to come in. Even if you're not a quilter and you just want to come and do some crocheting or knitting or whatever, yeah, come on down. We're good. The other thing is I still am doing speaking engagements for the quilt gals just to help them out to get back on their feet. I am doing only Zoom meetings, and I have a PowerPoint presentation that talks about all the free patterns that we have put out and will be putting out to the world. So they're more than welcome to take any of my patterns and use them for their charity quilts, right? So that's kind of important that they know that we're there. So if you are part of a guild, let your programs person know that we're speaking for free over Zoom only. We're not doing any traveling or anything like that. The other thing that I want to let you know is that we do in our Facebook group, everybody's sharing pictures and having fun and asking questions, and it's a hoot. And we do still have the room feature in Facebook that we can go sew within. My admin person, Kathy, was able to set that up. It's no longer called Brenda's room, it's called Kathy's room, but we got a room. We do have a room working, so we're all happy with that. So if you get the opportunity to come join us on Facebook, that's great. We'd love to have you. So until we meet again, I hope you have you and your family have an absolutely amazing weeks ahead, okay? You take care. All right, bye.